Would you look at that beautiful aluminum work? Hey guys, Jake from Full Access UTV. Hey, it's been a while. Haven't had videos up in a couple months. A lot of stuff going on around the shop. Trying to get a lot of work into the race car and in the buggy, but meanwhile, while we were working on the race car, one of the things we've been talking about doing on this car and changing is the radius rods for the KRX. A lot of you know we have a sponsor who gave us some really cool billet aluminum ones that we put on one side, but we wanted something different and something that isn't square, that's going to get stuck in the rocks. So reached out to the guys over at Lean Machine, got awesome set of billet radius rods worked out, and basically, hey, today we got them on the table. You guys can check them out. These things are made out of 6061 T6 billet aluminum. They have real quality FK rod ends, and you guys will see the angle cutting on everything where all the edges are 45. So these things are going to drag over the rocks because undeniably they're going to be in the rocks. So for me, looking around, like I said, I wanted something that I'm not going to get stuck on, isn't going to cause me any issues. I'm stepping up to these. So with this deal, we got these things now on the website. I think we have a better price than almost anybody out there on billet aluminum radius rods for the KRX. So KRX, why do you need them? Well, everybody knows you got your stock rear radius rods, and they're actually pretty heavy duty versus the Polaris and Can-Ams, but it is still real thin wall tubing. And I mean, I've seen one buckle at Sand Hollow just hitting a sand dune, and it completely just like bent and bowed. It ruins your whole weekend. They're not the strongest things. If I could even, well, I don't think the camera could get in here. We could try it. You can kind of see there's a weep hole here. These things might be 083 wall. Might be an 095 wall tubing. I don't know if you can see them there or not, but the point is, guys, these are really thin wall, so in the long term they're not going to hold up. If you do any kind of abuse out and go into rocks or hard trails and you hit one of these, there's a lot of you out there that know they're going to kink, and what happens is you get that and then any kind of force and then it's just like a paper clip, it just kinks up. So hey, we got new replacements out. They're awesome. So the basic part of this was we thought, hey, let's do an install video even that these guys could use for these. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, these are taking them off the car, putting them back on the car, and the most simplest thing, the most complicated part about it all is right here on the table. And I wanted to show you guys, if you're going to do this, then this is what you're going to need to do it correctly. Now, one thing to be said, it's like Bobby put his rear radius rods on his car and they were slightly off. He came in to spend the time to try to get them right because within 800 miles he had burnt a set of rear 35-inch tires off. It was pretty bad situation. But like he said, he goes, hey man, look, they're on. And as I walked up and showed him, they weren't on. They were a half turn out, some were a turn out, which is quite a distance. That's what I'm going to show you guys as far as this goes today. But hey, so you guys need an unbreakable rear set of radius rods and billet that look really cool, man. These are them. By the way, these are lifetime warranty. So if you ever have an issue with them, they cracked, they broke, or anything else, you know, these things are completely warrantyable, so it's not even an issue. Well, speaking of, I'll show you some of the features in this too. These things even got pinch bolts, so they'll grab harder into the aluminum. Because everybody knows in long term, you know, if your jam nuts loosen up and things like that, that you can just, it'll pop and pull on the aluminum, eventually rip the aluminum out. Hey, if that ever even happens, these guys will take care of it, and it's a lifetime warranty on these. So you can't go wrong with it. What else to cover? You know why you're replacing them? Because they're going to bend, they're going to get wasted. So as far as one of these tricks, if you guys notice, the rear lower is straight. There is no adjustment in here whatsoever. Now your upper, this is your front lower, or I believe it's called a toe link. And this one has a little bit of adjustment, and then you notice your rear upper has adjustment on both sides. So what I'm gonna do before taking one to the car and showing you some of the tricks is, first I'm gonna show you how to set one up. Now my advice, go to the car, remove one. Now I like to remove the toe link first, which is your shortest one, which is going to be the one up front, and remove the shortest one first. Now, I jack it up. I get the weight almost completely off the ground. So if you want to jack it up from the bottom, have your tires come down, and then set it down maybe a half an inch, just get it to compress just a tiny bit so it's not under the weight of hanging and it's not under the weight of full compression, just a tiny bit. I leave the tires and rims on, and the reason being is your huge tires, or even if you have a 31, is a leverage point, and you can move it up and down, you can rock it in and out. It just seems to make it a lot easier instead of trying to grab pry bars and move everything. So, okay, so one of the first things I'm gonna show you guys is setting it up. So once you get it out, you're gonna wanna take your bolts and put them on a table. Now, if you got a nice steel table or something like that, this is basically what you're gonna want to do. I just grabbed some acrylic plastic, which I know is great, and it's totally flat. So don't use wood, don't use a plywood bench or anything that's going to have any warps to it. My mic keeps moving, but you want to be totally flat, and you're about to see why. So I'll get this one out. Now, to set up your length, what you want to do is try to eyeball it and get a little bit close. And as you guys can see, this one's pretty far off. I'd say, I mean, I'm a good 3/4 of an inch off. So you want to equally unrotate these rod ends. So I'm going to count my turns. 1, 1/2, 2, 1/2, 3, 1/2, 4. I'll do the same over here. 1, 2, 4. So I went about 4 turns on each one. We'll see where she sits. And it wants more, so take another, oh, I went the wrong way, 1/2. I'll say I'll go out 1. And 1 again. Okay, and I'm pretty close, so I'm going to say take it out another 1/2. And then another 1/2. Hopefully you guys can get the gist of this in the video. And I am still not there, so 1. But the point of this is to try to equally get them out. You don't want one to come out 10 turns and the other one to come out 3. You're just going to run into issues and problems. And my misalignment's moved here. Okay, now I'm pretty close, but because I fixed the misalignment, I'm a little far out. Game of inches. Okay, so now I'm pretty close. So the other thing you can notice here too is if you turn this whole bar, you can watch it go in or out. And I am going the wrong way. Okay, so that's about that. Now, the next thing you want to look for, you guys, and this is the most important part of all, these bolts are sitting flat and they have to be flat on your table. They cannot be slightly in, they cannot be slightly out, they both have to be perfectly flat. That's where Bobby was running into an issue, and he's like, look, they're flat, they look great. They didn't look great. I walked under and you could see light underneath. This is going to be one of those tricky parts she's going to try to show you, but right now let me set it first. Because I still think, yes I do, I need to come out a little bit. Maybe not. This always goes so much easier when I don't have the camera on, right? Okay, so I'm going to say that is about perfect. I don't think I could get any more. And you guys can rotate it, you can feel it. See what that bolt's doing. But, and it's gonna try to show you underneath the head. You're gonna have no gap whatsoever underneath that head. It is sitting totally flat against.
It's hard to get it in there.
I bet. Let's see. So we may not be able to capture that. You may not be able to see it, but you guys, that is your easiest way. I can try to give you guys a measurement, and you know, every tape measure is a little bit different. How you read it's a little bit different, and there's just a lot of error that you can do there. This is the truest way. You got to put it on top of a straight one. So let's just say that your lower from the right side is damaged or bent, then pull it, start with your left front so you know that your left one is correct, and then set both to them. So the lefts and the rights are equally the same size. So any upper will switch from left to right, and bottom, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But that's it. So I'm gonna set my jams back. I think it's best to set the jams once you get it on the car. But that is your trickiest part. So you just want to make sure it comes right on and off. You have no issues. And you're not feeling it bind up in any way. See, and oddly enough, I think I'm too tight. So I'm going to take it out a half a turn. Yep. So you want to make sure these things are sitting totally flat. But trust me, this is worth the patience to do it right. You don't want to be like Bobby and everything goes back in the car. Oh yeah, that's perfect. And you guys realize you got to do it again. And then you go, which one's bad? You don't know. You got to do them all again. So just take your time, do it right. No, I got to do something about this mic. Maybe I'll try to move it. Okay, so now you can see I'm going up and down, no issues, perfectly smooth. That one's ready for install. As far as install, I'm not going to show you guys how to put them on the car. Self-explanatory. They're all 17 millimeter bolts, and yes, they're going to be very tight. And yes, you should put them back on very tight. Honestly, I'd use some red Loctite. That's what we do in this car. We just ended up installing the other side, and we were fighting my Loctite, but hey, you know what? My bolts aren't going to come loose on the race car. So on this side, I'm going to show you guys how to remove the front one, and then what I'm talking about with wiggling the tire, that you can help it to get it back in. So hopefully it will go pretty easy. But so basically your front lower one is that one, and I'll jump over here, switch hand spots. Okay, and then I am going to work on fighting this one out. And I already got all my nuts off of there. But this is always the tricky part. Okay, grab my impact. And of course, I can't get the impact in there. Come on, don't make me go get tools. Okay, I'll try to pull the lower first. Okay, so lower came right out. I bet you the upper just has Loctite stuck on it. Of course. Walk into the toolbox. Look at that. Dope. I didn't think it was going to come out that easy, but it did. All right, so we'll leave that on the ground. So next part, you're gonna go in, put in your new one. Pretty much same thing. Get it lined up. Okay, so that one's started. Now, Ange, what I want to see in here. Now, as you guys see, I can hold it up there and you can see how I can move everything just by the tire in between my knees. So it makes it pretty straightforward and easy. And then I'll wiggle back and forth. And that one's about ready to go in. I'll put it on the impact. And that's about it. So that one's in. So now you guys would pretty much get it all Loctite in, all set. And that one's done. So again, key, you guys do it right here. Make sure you got something flat, some metal, anything, whatever it takes. You can run it even to the kitchen table or the granite countertop. My wife loves that stuff. But hey, that's it. This is an awesome upgrade for a KRX 1000. The way these things are angled and the strength, that's exactly something I wanted to do in my Kraken buggy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my long fighting video, but it is what it is, man. So hey, me and my family much appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all the hospitality, being customers and everything else. And that's it, man. Well, it's weekend for us, so have a good weekend to you. Later.